Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk. Welcome to Straight Talk.
African president of the United States of America, President Barack Obama.
Good to see you. I just want to say everybody back home, right back at you. We appreciate you. You always give us straight talk.
And welcome to Straight Talk. Tonight, Straight Talk has a great surprise for you. We're going to start letting you see the candidates who are running for mayor of the city of Chicago. Well, you see one on a nightly basis, Dr. Willie Wilson, who advertises with us, and you see his image on a nightly basis. But we're going to let you see all of the candidates, and maybe, just maybe, you could have a process of elimination and get one candidate instead of 9, 10, 11 candidates, well, 2 candidates to run against one another instead of 11 running against one another, or 12. It may be more than that now. I think it's 19. That's right, it's 19 candidates running for mayor. That is the most ridiculous thing in the world. But we got to take into consideration some were just put into the race to create this confusion. You know, if there was enough confusion created, intelligent, brained people would get out of the race. Say, let those fools have it. And they would have accomplished the mission. And the one that they want in will stay there and become the next mayor. And individuals like that are never good for the community. They see themselves, because they were able to manipulate those people into helping them to steal this race. I said it like that. They were able to manipulate these people so they could steal the race. You saw how many races have been stolen over the years. So, because of that, they feel like kings sitting on a throne, not servants serving the people. That's where we miss out at, see, because we don't make any demands. In reality, we should have had 1 million people downtown with the group telling that mayor to get out of office. Not asking him to leave, but telling him to get out. Under the Constitution, we have a right to tell you to get out. We don't want you in there anymore. See, I'm going to have a constitutional class and start teaching the citizens of this country civics so they would have a good, clear, and concise process of how national politics work. See, being a congressman, being a United States senator, that's not really national because that's voted in by a state. But when you're running in all the states, that's called a national election. It's a national election. But the Constitution says all politics are local. Therefore, you can't count that national so-called elected official as a part of a political organization. Although he may call himself Republican, he may call himself Democrat. But he was put in by someone completely different from the people who elect local officials. Hillary won the popular vote, but she lost we call it the electoral vote. It's not no such thing as electoral. It's electoral vote. But the electoral vote only puts the person in that the people who pick presidents want. You're going to have to go and read the Constitution and find out who make presidents. Me telling you here on the air is not going to help. Start studying civics. Get it right from the horse's mouth. It says plainly, because the American public may not be sophisticated enough to elect the right person to the office of president, we have the Electoral College to straighten it out. What more can I say? We saw it straightened out 3 times so far. Working on 4. I mean, I'm talking about, it has happened many times before, but I'm talking about times that I can remember because maybe I wasn't interested in politics to that extent to be paying attention to who won the election or who became president. It didn't matter to me. I didn't care about that. But now that I know, now that I've found out what it's all about, it's right there in front of you. You can't miss it. How intelligent people run around and talk about, well, Trump only won because the electoral vote put him in. Hillary won the popular vote. Popular, electoral, bunch of stuff. Can you hold second, audience? Let me answer this because I think this may be my guest calling. Hello? No, I guess it wasn't. Oh yeah, wait a minute. No, it wasn't. Anyway, with that said, we know proof positive. We know proof positive that all politics are local. President is not a politician. He's not elected, he's selected. He has a job to do. Nothing you can say to have him undo that job. You hear folks say, well, Barack Obama didn't do nothing for this, and he didn't do nothing for that. He did what he was told to do. He's not a fool. He's not ready to go. He wasn't ready to go lay down with Kennedy. He didn't follow orders, and he's laying down when he wasn't ready to go and lay down. He wasn't ready for laying down, but he's laying comfortably. Barack Obama was smart enough to follow orders. He took the job, so he followed orders. Now let me quantify the fact that he is a brilliant individual, more brilliant than anyone that we've had in recent years. Well, I was saying all the years that we've had presidents. We haven't had anyone as brilliant as Barack Obama. He was able to turn a few curves and throw a few curveballs without any repercussion. Now, but to some of us, oh, that wasn't enough. Don't understand. Just don't understand. What we should be after is we should have gone to City Hall 25 years ago and said, enough with the gas raises. Enough with the gas price raises. Do you know 40 years ago, gas was 15 cents a gallon, 20 cents a gallon. when gas went to 25 cents a gallon, everybody hit the ceiling. Where are they going with this gas stuff? 25 cents a gallon for gas? $25 a gallon for gas? Hell, it was just yesterday when gas was 7 cents a gallon. You know, can you imagine? I used to pull up to a pump just as big and say, give me 50 cents worth. And that was paying a lot of salaries. See, you had people coming out pumping the gas. They got paid a salary for pumping gas. They had service stations where you can go in and get your tire flats fixed. You can get bumpers put on. You get a grease job. You get an oil job. You can get your cars washed. You know, they had a service station. They service your car. And all those stations had employees. Somebody with a business sense. Becoming the mayor of the city of Chicago, I'm not talking about a millionaire. All millionaires don't have business sense. They either inherit money or they steal it. Simple as that. They either inherit it or steal it. Now you take the you figure out which is which. Over the weekend we taped a candidate running for mayor. We want to show you some of the things that she did leading up to the election. First thing we did, went by a breakfast that was served in her honor at her church. Talking about Dorothy Brown. Tony, let's see what Dorothy's up to.
You know this praise, you can sing along with me. It says, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he is. Oh, give thanks. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. For he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. For he is good. Yes, he is. For he is worthy, worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he is. For he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Come on, for he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he. One more time. Oh, give thanks. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. For he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. For he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he is. For he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he is good. Now let's give praise to our good God. Come on and clap your hands.
So what you're going to do, right before we have our breakfast will be here momentarily, is we're just going to take a minute. We're going to ask Sister Woods to play some just quiet, refreshing music. And just close your eyes and just listen to God. Just see what he has to tell you this morning. You never know. And I thought it was so strange when I first encountered this piece of prayer. I said, what in the world is this? But I listened every Wednesday. And by about the 4th or 5th Wednesday, the Lord was speaking to me. So we're going to take this quiet time and we're just going to listen to God. We're going to play some quiet music. You know, you're here now, you've been through so many things this week, and you probably have some uncertainty about some things. And so we're just going to take some time to listen to God. Amen? Close your eyes and just listen. And then by the time you're open, you're ready for breakfast. Okay, let's just listen to the Lord and see what he's saying to our hearts. Okay?
Being called for such a time as this. We've got issues and problems in our families. We've got issues and problems in our church. We've got problems that we can't even talk about. But God has called you for such a time as this. Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to read Nehemiah, the 2nd chapter, and verse 18 when you get home. It talks about the hand of God being upon Nehemiah. And we're going to pray from this moment on that the hand of God is on Clerk Dorothy Brown.
Sister Valier, Dr. Valier, you did a good job of introducing us and taking us to that vision of seeing her there. If we see it, we can do it. How many know we can do this? How many know that it's time for this? You got my ear. Woman of God, you got my ear. Come forward. Amen. Let us receive her.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you all so very much. I am so happy to see everyone here. Thank you to the Women's Committee. Praise God for organizing this Women's Prayer Breakfast. We want to certainly thank Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson, who's our chairperson, but she's with her husband, who they're celebrating his 77th birthday today, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. And certainly to our co-chair, our Ms. Plachette Patsola, and to our organizer, person who helped put this all together today, Ms. Betty Millsap. And then, of course, another one of our chairpersons for today, Dr. Valier. Dr. Valier. She's just such a phenomenal lady. We have just been friends for a lot of years. Every time I come down to Apostolic Church of God, she's always there, always taking care of the Lord's business. And just a woman with such a great, great heart. And I really appreciate you, Dr. Valier, for just being my friend. Absolutely. And I want to recognize some of the ladies that are here with me today up on the podium. All of you are VIPs today. All of you are VIPs. Give yourselves a big round of applause. All of you are VIPs. But I want to recognize some of the ladies here. We have my bishop, Bishop O.C. Booker's wife, Mother Jean Booker. Thank you so much for being here, Mother Booker. And then this young lady, some years ago, contacted me, and I was able to go to one of her great women's seminars, and we've been friends ever since. She has a great school, and she's just doing a lot of things on the southwest side. Apostle Carol Sherman. And Bishop Sherman is here with her. We do have some men here today. Yes, indeed. We have two pastors here. Pastor Eric Chelsea, and Pastor Marshall. Give them both a hand. Do we have any other pastors that's sitting in the audience while I'm speaking of pastors? And then, of course, on the podium also with us, who's been emceeing this morning, so lovely. And she's been a great friend of mine as well, and I've been to her church, Pastor Dawson, Pastor Gloria Dawson. You know, Pastor Dawson just gets younger and younger every year. I'm trying to catch up with Pastor Dawson. All right. Praise God. And then we have a wonderful young lady who is an assistant pastor at Apostolic Church of God. Assistant Pastor Francine LaShondra. See, I got these names here. Look, I was trying to guess, and I thought I was doing a pretty good job. Evangelist LaShondra Stevens. Yes. Thank you so very much for being here. Isn't she beautiful? Yeah. That beautiful smile. Yeah. And then we have on the podium someone that really I feel as if I helped to raise her. Because I really did. She was a young girl when I came to the King of Glory. This is my church, in case you all did not realize it. This is the church that I've been attending for over 40 years. And of course, these guys know whenever I come to your church, I bring you greetings from the King of Glory Tabernacle Church of God in Christ. And I'm saying the sanctified. This is the church. And glad about it, right? Praise God. But Sister Kabiria Showers, evangelist, missionary Kabiria Showers. Just a wonderful, wonderful young lady. Just been such a great friend of mine, supporter, like a daughter also. And so she's just a phenomenal young woman. And thank you for being all that you are and such a great supporter of mine. And then we have sitting before us, Evangelist McCarthy's husband is one of our co-chairs of the ministers' breakfast, and he's also on the finance committee, just doing a phenomenal job in helping us. Evangelist McCarthy. And then this young lady was sent to us by Pastor McCarthy as well, Evangelist Francine Anderson. And then we have attorney Melissa Ford, who is just a great young lady. I've known her since she was 16 years old and counseled her through undergrad, and then she went on to graduate school, and then she went on to law school, and then actually was able to sit down with her and counsel her through the bar exam. So give her a hand. The Lord blessed me with a special technique for organizing material for studying for the bar exam. You always, when you approach any kind of exam, you all know I'm a certified public accountant and I'm an attorney. So I've taken 2 major exams over the years. And whenever you're approaching any kind of exam, you don't just start to study. You first analyze how you're going to study it and how best to learn that information. Look at all the information that you have. So I figured out this technique and organized the material in a way to help it to continue to build upon itself. I put like things, similar things, subjects together and that sort of thing, so that as you're studying this subject, you're able to cross-reference to the other subject and then get a better understanding. You get the differences and the similarities, and then you know the information. So I put together that technique. So I've been teaching a lot of young people how to pass that
bar exam, and she was one of those that I was able to teach. Maybe I'll copyright that one day and have a class. All right, and then we have her mom is with her, Miss Jacqueline, Miss Jacqueline Tolliver. Yes, and so they're both great friends of mine. Melissa actually is my husband's goddaughter. Yes, and so just great and great friends of mine. And so I want to just really thank you all. We have some great people. Do we have any first ladies in the house? First ladies? Stand, first ladies. Other first ladies. All right. Yes. All the first ladies that are here. I have one of our sponsors' wives is here, Miss Adu Uje. Stand up, Ada. Yes. Thank you, Ada, and let Jeff know that I appreciate him. And I have two of my friends from law school that are here. We have been supporting one another for a lot of years. I think in our class we had about, 12 or 13 African Americans. There was about 101 students. So we became very close. And one of them actually wound up working for my office, and she retired last year. I don't know how I let her retire, but she did retire. But we have Miss Cheryl, and we have Robin Perkins. And my law school students, my law school friends.
Yeah, come on, we got to get a picture.
If you all want to come up, so she wants to get a picture with you all.
Come on, hurry up.
They have been such great supporters of mine. And then we have my friends. They're like my mothers, my sisters, my daughters. I'll say that because some of them are younger than me, but they have been my supporters. And you know what I'm talking about, my grandmothers. I'm going to throw grandmother in there too. From King of Glory Church, members, stand please. These ladies over here, like my mothers, my sisters, they helped raise me. When I came to Chicago, I was 21. I graduated from school, college already, but I was still... We're going to take this picture. Thank you. And I was, my mother was not here, so I needed that support and it was wonderful when I joined here and found this family of ladies and men and that were able to be there for me. When I had my daughter, I was 27 when I had my daughter, and Elthola right here is like a mother to me. She actually catered my wedding reception. When I had my daughter, I was doing what modern mothers do, and that was to breastfeed only, no water, no anything, for six months. I don't know if they still do that now. The first 6 months, that's all they have is breast milk, no water. No, you have vitamins with fluoride for the teeth, and you don't have food, you don't have anything, which is very challenging for the mother, of course. But I actually went to grad school at night, even though I was fully breastfeeding my daughter, and that was a little challenging. But what they always was thinking that my daughter was going to die or something since I wasn't feeding her. But today she has 2 degrees and a master's degree. She spent years in London and she's doing very, very well. So she did survive.
Okay, we're back. And joining us here is Joseph Chopin.
Yes, sir.
Chopin.
Chopin.
Sound like Japan.
Heard that before, yeah.
Anyway, Joe, let me just tell the audience, Joe is here to do a film on our great mayor, Harold Washington.
Yes, sir.
You just saw the first clip of a brilliant young lady who's running for mayor
Yes.
of the city of Chicago, Dorothy
Yes.
Brown. And but there is at least 19 black people running
Yeah,
for mayor.
yeah, there are.
How do we expect to ever put a black mayor in if all of us want to be mayor at the same time?
Well, I mean, simply we could elect a black mayor, but it's not about electing a black mayor. It's about electing the right mayor.
The right mayor.
Yeah,
You're right.
Because one of Harold's biggest sayings was, "It's not the man, it's the plan. It's not who you elect in office. It's the plan of the person behind. It's the plan of the behind that person and what's projecting that person into the seat, and if that person is going to do right by the people." We've seen tons of black people as aldermen, senators, congressmen, state representatives that are in their positions now running for mayor and cannot even pick up trash in their community. I mean, so how could we elect someone who is already elected running for mayor who's not shown the very basic care
Right.
for their community? So
Right.
the mayor that's going to win, personally, I don't believe is on the ballot. I think that there's going to be a group of young people that take the gauntlet and or the baton rather, and run to the finish line and really take care of these problems that need to be solved in our communities on our own.
Well, we got a disagreement.
What do you think?
I think the mayor, the person that's going to be the mayor, is in the race.
Okay.
But they have to. The people who are there are going to have to get a brain.
Right.
And when the brain click into gear,
Yeah.
and they come together and say, okay, I'll just try it next time around. We got on the ballot, we have a 2-term limit.
Yeah.
I'm still young, so therefore I can do it next time. If I don't win the coin toss.
Yeah.
Let's toss a coin and see who stays in the race. Toss a coin until the last man wins.
Yeah.
And then all of those people get behind, the whites, the blacks, or whoever. They all get behind at one, either side. If
Yeah.
it's white and the black, or 2 blacks,
Yeah.
or 2 whites.
Yeah.
You get behind one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I've been looking at the race from the perspective of looking at what are the differences between all the communities that this particular mayor could potentially govern over, and we have 50 wards. There's 50 different areas in the community that we live in that need help, and as I look at the map and as I view at all these communities, and I've been around in each community, I look at how and what are the visual differences between our communities and everybody else's. I mean, even walking up here tonight, I see heaps of garbage. I see liquor stores. I see fast food restaurants. I see just the smell of this meat that they feed us in our communities, or we allow them to be in our communities. And then I think about, I don't smell this smell. I don't see these sights. I don't feel this feeling in other communities. Will this change if a black mayor becomes mayor? Will the black communities
We could answer that by Harold.
Right. Harold, and that was the difference between what was that plan. Harold had a plan, and these people, none of them, is from what I can see, have the same plan or anything even close to what Harold had. And what his plan was is to really, really focus on the communities, not just one community, but allowing the black community to have a piece of the action and giving them that fair shot at life. When it came to politics, back in the 80s, blacks were being cut out of the conversation. That's still, to a degree, the same today. And I don't know what has changed since then.
I tell you,
Yeah.
see, you got a person like Dorothy Brown,
Yeah.
who is the, as you know, the circuit court clerk of Cook County. As she said, it's the second largest clerk's office, circuit court clerk's office in the world,
Yeah.
not just the country, in the world,
Yeah.
the second largest. So now, and she said, she has run that organization successfully for 18 years. So she understands that she won that election, that position.
Yeah.
That's why the so-called Democrats can't stand her. They set her up and tried to get her out, and tried to beat her out last time,
Yeah.
the last time around. But she prevailed because she has worked for the people.
Yes, sir.
She has shown that she is for the people.
Yes.
So the people did not pay attention to the Democrats. They put her back in office.
Yeah.
And see, but what they want to do, they want to control the jobs in the office.
Yeah.
She said, no, I won this office. I control these jobs. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm giving my people jobs, and I'm giving your people jobs. I'm giving everybody jobs. But you're not going to give them. I'm going to give them. I may give you a couple of jobs to give, but you can't take charge of, the Democratic Party selects the people for these different organizations, these different positions. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't select them for the clerk's office. So she understands her powers. And she understands the power of the people.
Yes, sir.
Now, then you look at a guy like Willie Wilson, Dr. Willie Wilson,
Yes.
a businessman.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about the fact that, I can remember in Chicago when gas was 7 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
And you had herds of people working. You didn't have to worry about a job. You wake up in the morning and scratch your head and say, I really wonder where I want to work today. Okay? You want to get paid daily, so you don't want a job where you got to wait for a week to get paid.
Yeah.
I'll go over here and work, and you can just walk out your door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get a job.
Yeah. Are you saying that Willie Wilson is a good candidate for mayor as well? As Dorothy Brown?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because first off, he's a businessman.
Okay.
He understands what his position, what the position of a mayor is.
Yeah.
A servant of the people.
Okay.
And see what the problem is in America.
Yeah.
They took civics out of the school. So millennials, and a lot of people that aren't millennials.
Yeah.
Don't know the civics. Don't know civics.
Yeah.
So there's no way for them to find it except go to the dictionary.
Yeah. You might understand this more than some millennials, because a lot of who they call millennials, a lot of the young people today don't understand what it means to work. And I know this for sure because I'm in that group of young people. And so our elder generation before us has an opportunity to share that information with us.
If you're willing to listen.
If we're willing to listen, exactly. But one of the things that is common between both young and older people is not just the inability to work, but the common thing is that we don't understand who we are. And so people like Willie Wilson, people like Dorothy Brown, people like Mr. Green, the young man who's running for mayor, the 26-year-old, I believe, 24-year-old who's running for mayor. He thinks he has the answers. He thinks he's worked hard. He thinks he's been into the communities well enough. But the
nice kid, but that's just ego. What I say.
Right. But it's all of us.
Right.
If we don't have an understanding of who we are and where we come from, we won't be able to understand our problems. That was the major thing that Harold brought to the table. He knew where he came from. He understood that he was an African man. He identified with Africa. He identified with the community aspect of vision for our community. That one hand washes the other. We have to help one another, build each other up as a community. Each one teach one, or givers gain, or if I help you, you help me. And together as a community, we will succeed and thrive. Today, we have lost a tremendous amount of knowledge when it comes to self-worth and value. We don't have the basic skills to understand that we are even African people. And these candidates running, every single one of them, although the issues that they're saying are you know, things that need to be dealt with, the very core issues for us as a community don't even come close to those issues. We have about 4 things in our community that need to be fixed today. Now, Dr. Wilson believes that medical marijuana should be allowed in our communities. I, for one, do not agree with that, and I don't think that Harold would agree with that today because of our borders being open to all types of drugs and paraphernalia. Medical marijuana is not something that we need in our community. There's a trash problem in our community. There is a food problem in our community. We have consistent red dyes and things that come into our community that poison our bloodstreams and allow us to not be able to think critically. If we're not thinking critically, if we're on drugs, if we have trash in our communities, if we don't know our language, if we don't know who we are, we don't understand and comprehend and think and move and act as an African people, how can we make the right decision by going to the poll and voting?
You see, very simple. I could say, see, as you said, I'm a senior. I smoked marijuana when I was a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't become an addict.
That's right.
Had no intention of becoming an addict.
Yeah.
You know, just following the group, just following the, you know, wanted to fit in with the group.
Yeah.
And I lectured to them when I saw them going too far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, but addicts become addicts because of some other reason, not because of availability of narcotics.
Yeah.
Because the addicts are going to find them some narcotics. I don't care what you do with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care whether it's medical or whether it's in the ocean. If they got to swim out in the middle of the ocean to get it, they're going to get the narcotics.
Right.
And how do I know that? Because I saw it up close and personal as a policeman.
Yeah.
Okay. Saw how people reacted to that, and you know, so it's not going to stop now.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is have, you know, go back and create the medical centers for them.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, some of the drugs that are on the streets now, the people who are selling them, like while I was coming here, I mean, I was offered to buy marijuana 3 times on the train.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the drugs some of the stuff that they're putting in the drugs is made for it to be addictive.
Right.
There's a young man who was on YouTube. I was looking at a video, and he took something called K2 Kush. Now, this is something that's sold in the streets, and you can buy it at your own will if somebody's selling it. To you, which most people are selling it on the trains, on the buses, on the street corners. You know, you can run into at least 4 or 5 people on the red line, the blue line, green line, and be offered this particular strand of marijuana. And when you smoke it, your brain goes completely dead. So did we manufacture that?
no.
Who did? And who opened up our borders and our community to it?
Who made those guns available for these young boys?
Exactly. Who opened up our borders? What about the alcohol? How many aldermen have allowed alcohol, what you call liquor licenses, to be spread throughout our community? So it's a problem within us now because we allow it, because we just like Malcolm X said, every time you break that liquor seal on it, somebody's making money. Somebody's profiting off of your disease and sickness.
Plus, we gotta get smart. See, we're
That's
stupid.
Right. That's right.
I hate to say it because I'm a part of that.
That's right.
See, I say until I'm able to convince all, we are stupid.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not leaving myself out of it.
That's right. Me too. Yeah.
What is the solution? The solution is go to your local grocery store. Go to your local restaurant. Spend your money there, you create jobs and you create opportunities for your community.
Yeah.
The American Labor Department says that black people in America, or in Chicago, spend about $75 billion now a year.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they also said that every $1 billion creates 50,000 full employment jobs.
Yeah.
Now, what if we just spent a third of that in our community? just 25 billion in our own community,
Yeah.
we would create 1,250,000 jobs, and we don't have that many unemployed people.
And you know, Mr. Lillard, the very fact is that we are spending in our community.
No, we're not.
We are. The problem is that the businesses that are owned in our community are not owned by us.
Okay, let me say this.
Yeah.
We do have a few jobs, very few businesses
Yeah.
in the black community of Chicago
Yeah.
that are not owned by blacks.
Yeah.
And they do have other ethnics coming in, other residents from other parts of the city coming in and working.
Yeah.
Okay, which is not right.
Yeah.
See, I'm saying what you said now. We need to come together as one,
Yeah.
go to these stores in the community and say, listen, we're going to start spending money in these stores in the community here.
Yeah.
But we don't want to see anybody working in these stores that are not members of this community. If we see someone working in the store that's not a member of our community, then we will not shop in your store. You might as well close down and move out.
Yeah, I wish it could work that way.
It could work that way.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for a day that will be a reality.
That we would
for
have
us.
that kind of unity.
Yeah, yeah. I think that it is possible. I think that first we have to remove the poison from our minds that keep us from being progressive, and that is that poison that when you take it, you're saying, you know what, I'm active, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to do this, I'm about to make it happen. Today's the day.
Okay. Well,
and then you take the poison in and you say, oh, maybe not today.
But listen, we got to take a little break.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back with some more of that those candidates forum.
Okay,
We'll see a
fantastic.
little bit of it. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Chicago, the Windy City, home of the tallest buildings in the world, the home of the Chicago Sound of Soul. One of the architects of the Chicago Sound was Carl Davis. He got his first million-selling single at VJ Records. He was known as the man with the golden ear, a musical guru, the hitman. The Carl Davis Story.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. In light of the Laquan McDonald case, we have to assure that fairness and equal rights are protected for all citizens of Chicago, and this has not been the case with this mayor. Vote for me and I can assure you that fairness and equal opportunity for all citizens of Chicago.
Paid for by drwilliewilsonfoundation.org.
Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Every now and then I get that feeling, and I've got something I want to say.
One of the great things about being a vegan is that the uniqueness of it.
And I've got to say it my way.
And so gathered with me today are just a sampling of those vegans who have become loyal supporters of Soul Vegetarian.
Welcome to Soul Vegetarian Restaurant.
I said, no. Okay, we're back, and we want to get right into the other part of it, but I want you to finish your statement.
Sure.
My last thing was the fact that we could create 50,000. We could create 1,250,000 votes.
Yeah.
I mean, jobs.
Yeah.
Just by spending a third of our income
Yeah.
in our own community. You say, well, we don't have black businesses. I'm not talking about black business. I'm talking about in the community. We want to create jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you start shopping in the community like that, blacks who have business acumens will start building businesses in the community.
Yeah.
Because our black entrepreneurs now, our black business people, are running white corporations someplace, like American Express.
That's right.
Xerox and all those
right.
big conglomerates they're running for and making money for somebody else.
Yeah.
But they're making millions for themselves too.
Yeah, and that's correct. The only thing is that I see that we are like a growing child in the black community, and if I gave a baby liquor every time he was going to sleep, or some sort of thing to sedate the baby, and I expected the baby to wake up on time, the baby wouldn't wake up on time. If I needed a toddler, if I decided to give a toddler alcohol or some sort of drug to sedate the child, and I didn't take the drug away and then allow for the child to wake up on time, the child will never wake up on time. And that's I kind of connect that to the black community. We have so many people who are sedated in our community that until we completely remove the poison from our body, we will not be able to make sound decisions as a people. The great thing about Harold.
But see, we have so many people with sound bodies that you could overshadow the others if we all came together.
Yes, but if we don't remove the others, there's a potential for us to destroy ourselves again.
Well, when you say remove the others, I don't say remove them. I say
remove the poison.
Yeah, when you give them a reason to remove the poison.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity to earn a salary for themselves, and let them know that they are somebody.
That's right.
And when they get that hold, I worked with people for many years.
Yeah.
And I've worked with criminals.
That's right.
And I saw criminals become viable citizens.
Yes, sir.
Because I didn't go to them and lock them up.
Yeah.
For the first little thing, for any little thing that they did. I tried to talk to people. I talked to people, and I reasoned with them, and I showed them how to be whole.
That's right. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And that's what I mean. We have to remove those poisons before we can be whole. Because if we keep the poisons in the community, if we keep the poisons in our body and try to be whole with the poison, it will have relapses in our community, and then we'll just end up being destructive.
Well,
becoming disruptive, and then trying to get when Harold ran, we had such a large group of people who had a sound mind and a mission and a plan and a goal. They had different teams and structures around the South Side that would, have plans to put up flyers and sit certain areas and work together collectively.
That was the people. The people
right.
did that themselves. They decided that they did not want what they had been getting.
That's right.
And that same group that you're talking about came together. The Blackstone Rangers, they all came together.
Right. That's right.
And just said, we're now going to be citizens, and we're going to vote, and we're going to make ourselves a mayor.
Fantastic.
And they did just that.
And how do we get our people to do that again? What was it about that movement and that energy that made our people rally together like that?
The Laquan McDonald thing could have been the same thing if we all had gotten together with that.
Yeah.
Those young people were ready.
Okay.
And the young people didn't know it, but they had the authority to tell that mayor, no, get the hell out of office right now.
Yeah, yeah.
See, because they have not studied civics, they don't know they don't know the Constitution.
Yeah.
They don't know the Constitution said the government is governed by the governed.
That's right.
Okay, and don't you know you're the governed? But you run the government. So it's kind of backwards, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And the idea is, it also says that if a candidate, if an official that you elected is not doing the job that you think he should be doing, you have a right to go and ask him to remove himself from that office.
That's right. That's right.
So we know a mayor the size of the city of Chicago has 9, 10, 11,000 police officers. So you can't go there by yourself. You got to go with 100,000 people, 200,000 people. And they ain't not going to try and shoot down those 200,000 people.
No. we think they won't. We think they won't. But if we can redirect our energy towards the things that will make
I'm saying we're not going down there with guns. We don't have anything but our bare hands. We're utilizing our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And we're saying we want that man out of office right now.
Yeah, yeah. What makes our community so special is that when we want something and we really work together
well, guess
to get
what?
it, we get it.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I swear to God, you wouldn't be by yourself.
Yeah.
Who was the first people killed in the civil rights movement in Mississippi? With Martin Luther King, during the Martin Luther King march.
Some of the white people.
The first 3 people that were killed was 2 whites and 1 black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard about that. I wasn't alive during the time.
And at that time, you had more whites who had the nerve to march through Mississippi and those other southern areas than blacks, because blacks, we were lynched by white folks, and we were, they got guns and they had. But another white guy said, "Well, I'm marching with you. Come on."
Yeah.
And they marched through Mississippi.
It's just something there's.
See, we talk about white folks don't like black folks. Who do you think marched with you during Martin
Yeah.
Luther King days and all those
Yeah.
other days?
I don't think it has nothing to do with white people now at least, because
It never did.
they're not.
It never did. It had something to do with a bunch of bigots.
Yeah, it's our ability to govern ourselves and do good for ourselves, and that's why I named this movie The Greatest Good, so that we can hopefully bring that good to our
Greatest
communities.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Explain this to us, because I'm going to go to another clip in a second. So
Yes, sir.
explain this to us. though.
Well, The Greatest Good is a movie written on the life of Mayor Harold Washington. It is covers the full story of Mayor Washington and the full story of Jean-Baptiste du Sable and how African people govern this land all throughout history. So we extend Jean-Baptiste du Sable's story into the beginning of Chicago's history, and then later in years we pick up when Harold was in high school, and we run that course all the way through to the day that Harold passed. And so what we show is a joint effort over decades of black governing of the city of Chicago, and how Harold was influenced by Jean-Baptiste du Sable to govern the city properly. Also influenced by his father, people like Ralph Metcalf, people like his close friends, Gus Savage, Roy Washington, again his father, his mother, the close relationships he had with political leaders as he grew into the machine here in Chicago, and then eventually turned against it and helped the people.
I tried to get him to stop smoking in the worst way.
Oh, did you?
We were in a church on the west side, and I was speaking. We both had speaking positions that night.
Yeah.
And I went down the basement to the toilet. I guess he thought I was gone. Harold come downstairs, this is big, with a cigarette in his hand in the church. He saw me. I ain't smoking, W.L. I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, you know, Harold was a special man.
Yeah, he was special. He was a beautiful person, too, a beautiful person.
Very special.
Well, listen, I want to go to another one of those clips for us to analyze. And
yes, sir.
You know, actually, we didn't do any analyzing of the last one, but let's go to the next clip. Tony.
Doing very, very well, and she's very healthy because of it also. But it's just all of you that are here and have been a part of my life over the years. I really, really appreciate you. You know, and when I kicked off, and it's interesting that we would be in this basement, because when I had my very first event to start to run for public office, it was in this very basement. When I ran for, yes. When I announced to my relatives and friends and associates that I was planning to run for city treasurer of the city of Chicago back in 1999. And so, it's very appropriate for us to be here. And I really appreciate all of the ladies who have prayed today. Everything that I do, I credit it all to God. There is nothing that I have done in my life that has not been because of the Lord. And I was raised in the Church of God in Christ. My mother was Church of God in Christ. My father was Baptist. And they both were very, very strict, really religious people. And my father was a deacon. My mother was a Sunday school superintendent, and she did just about everything in the church. And they took us to church. They didn't send us. They took us to church. They took us to Sunday school. They did not send us to Sunday school. And then they just just you know. So as sometimes you think that your children are really not paying attention. And they're sitting up in church sleeping on the benches. I've done that. And that nothing is really absorbing, but just keep taking them. Just keep taking them. It says train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. You know, and so it's all a part of me, of what my parents taught me. It's all a part of me. And I was telling the ladies last week that my mother and father, you know, they had the benevolent fund in our community. We had a benevolent fund. You know how your block club? But we had a benevolent fund for the whole area. And anytime anything happened to anyone, they made sure that something was there for you if you lost a loved one or if you're in the hospital and that sort of thing. So that's my DNA, the kind of people that I was raised by. And my father had a brain tumor that he refused to get operated on. It was benign. But he refused to get operated on it. And at the end, later on in life, when it started to bother him, he would disappear sometime. My mother wouldn't know what had happened, and he would have actually gone somewhere to get a loan. Yes, he would have signed for a loan. And you know what he would do with that money? He would go buy Bibles to take to nursing homes so that he could go pray with people. In his state of having a brain tumor. That is my DNA. In that state, he was still concerned about people. We would wind up having to pay for the loans. But that's what he did. And I just think about that. He was not even to himself. But that's what he would do with the money. Buy Bibles, and he would spend time on Saturdays and Sundays going to nursing homes, passing out Bibles and praying for people. And so, you know, when I think about the way they raised me, and I think about the fact that now I've come to this day, running for mayor of the city of Chicago, the third largest city in the country.
Come on.
And to have the guts, to have the courage, to have the faith and belief that I can do it, is only because of God. You know, and he has ordered my steps over the years. He's prepared me for this day, for such a time as this. And I looked at this last year about this time, and it was only in my heart. I didn't even tell my husband. It was only in my heart when I decided that I had to run for mayor of the city of Chicago. That I could not turn my back on the people. I could not turn my back on the children of this city, because our children deserve to have a great education. And parents should not have to try to compete or try to figure out if they know someone to get into a magnet school. Just to get their child a decent education. Every school should be at a magnet school level. And that's my commitment. But in order for someone to do that, they have to have that kind of concern. They have to really desire and believe that the children can have that kind of education, and believe that they deserve it. Our children deserve to be able to compete on a global level. This is a global economy. It's not even a local economy anymore. With this World Wide Web, and we are miseducating, undereducating our children. And so that's the first thing I want to do, is to overhaul the Chicago public school system. If we give our children a great education, they will have alternatives to crime. I was on the West Side last week, and I was talking to some young people, and they were saying, you know, our friends do not want to be out here committing crimes, but they don't have a choice. They're not properly educated, but they don't feel like they can do anything else. And so we have to fix that educational system, and we start to fix this criminal misconduct that's occurring in our city. And then let's just look at our neighborhoods. You know, we talk about Chicago being a world-class city. But in order for Chicago to be a world-class city, every block, every neighborhood, every community should be world-class. And so I am about having a fair and equitable economic development plan for every area of the city that the community has input to. Not just this piecemeal economic development plan that we're operating under right now. And when I say piecemeal, I mean if one developer decides to put a car wash on this block, we have a big press conference and a big ribbon cutting, and we think we have some economic development.
That's right.
No, the entire community, we need to look at it, analyze it, and see what the needs are. And make sure that every institution within that community, the faith-based organizations, we fight, government sometimes fight faith-based organizations. We need faith-based organizations. They provide a valuable human service. Not-for-profit organizations. So my platform means to strengthen those institutions. Work with those institutions to help them provide the services that they're providing. And then the businesses. See, small businesses hire more people than large businesses do.
That's right.
So as we help people that are entrepreneurs that want to start a business, give them the kind of information, give them access to the kind of information that they need to be able to start a business and make sure that that business continues to be strong. Not just let them flounder out there on their own. Tell them how to find Small Business Administration loans or grants. Make sure that they have access to pro bono legal services, pro bono accounting services, how to prepare grants, how to write proposals, have business conferences, have people that are doing business with the city be mentors to other businesses. There are so many things that you can do when you really care. When you really care. There are so many things that you can do. So I want to, my platform about economic development is about community health and wealth building. Building the health and wealth of every community. As you strengthen a community, as you build the health and wealth of a community, then that means that people will start to come back. Families will start to come back.
That's right.
Vacant houses will start to have people in them. We want to do first-time home buyer grants, helping people to actually open these, purchase some of these vacant homes. Open back up some of these vacant businesses. And so as you do that, then what you do is you strengthen your tax base. The reason why everyone's property taxes have to go up is because half the buildings are vacant.
That's right.
Half the homes are vacant, so we don't get any property tax on those businesses or those homes. So if we bring people back to the communities, strengthen them, then that strengthens the tax base, that strengthens the community. Now we have children, because people are going to have children, to go to the schools, and you no longer have to start to close schools.
That's right.
All right.
There is a direct interrelationship between all of these things. And so as we strengthen one, we have to strengthen the other. And so then, the other thing that I want to do, my criminal justice reform is about criminal and social justice reform. Now, criminal and social justice reform means that there is fairness in the way you mete out justice. That you deal with criminal misconduct and you also deal with police misconduct. They both go hand in hand. You have to deal with both. You have to help these individuals that are out here that feel they have no alternative but to commit crime. Yes, we have to have good gun control legislations, but guns don't shoot people, people do. So now we have to have some human services to help the people that are doing the shooting.
All right.
And have some vocational training, help them to get jobs. Maybe use some of our schools in the evening. My parents went to my elementary school at night. We have these vacant business buildings. Maybe use some of those schools for vocational nighttime training to help people get jobs. Meet people where they are. And then, of course, with my background as a CPA and an MBA, I want to stabilize the finances of the city. I'll be releasing my paper talking about various creative ways to raise the funds that are necessary to make sure that we're providing the various services, but also being able to stabilize the pension funds, because when people work, they deserve to have that retirement fund. And when they work, they deserve to have the city pay parts of that in health insurance. Do you know the city pulled all of their part of their part of the health insurance payment, so that people that are out there as retired, all of a sudden they had to pay all of their health insurance on their own. That was about 5 years ago. They took a little away, a third away, then it was all of a sudden 100%. The city no longer pays it. We need to go back. Under my administration, we will go back. People are dying because of it. People are hurting because of it. That to me, that's a basic right. Health care. And so I want to stabilize the city's finances, and as I talked about stabilizing the property taxes through the economic development, now that starts to stabilize these cities' finances as well. You have to have someone in that office with concern. You see, I'm going to tell you all, I said that I have the background, the experience. Now, I've been running the second largest court system in the country, and maybe even the world, for 18 years, and running it successfully. I don't care what they tell you, we've been running it successfully. If you use my system, you know we have. Yes. It's like a multi-million-dollar corporation. And so that's part of my experience. But even before I went there, I was the general auditor for the Chicago Transit Authority, reporting to the board of directors, making sure that those billions of dollars in assets, those buses and trains and every tool that it took to repair them, and every part, making sure that those things were properly controlled. And then those funds, when I was the general auditor, we had people at the rail stations actually collecting. We had fare collectors. So we had to make sure that we knew exactly that they were collecting the right amount. So I had to put controls in place to ensure that those billions of dollars in revenue were being properly controlled. And before that, I actually audited the city of Chicago, but I was not just one of the regular auditors. I was one of the ones in charge of the audit. I was one of 2 senior managers managing the audit of the entire city of Chicago. And so I have the background, the experience, and the heart to run this city. See, I came from a set of poor and uneducated parents. My mother was a cook and a domestic worker, which means that during the day she worked in somebody's little cafe. And in the evenings, she went to somebody else's house, made sure that their children were off the school bus, fed and put to bed, while her 8 children took care of themselves. My father was a laundry worker and a farmer, including a cotton farmer, which means that during the day he washed other people's clothes, other factory workers' clothes, and in the evenings, And on weekends, he went up to the little family farm where he had 2 disabled siblings still living. And he plowed for them so he could supplement their welfare income, so that they could plant corn and peas and things like that. And he plowed behind a mule. He did not have a tractor.
We're back, and I want to let Robert give us another view of what's happened with Harold in the book, and we'll close it out from there.
Yes. Like I said, my name is Joseph Michael.
I said Robert. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. My name is Joseph Michael Chopin, and I'm producing the Harold Washington movie called The Greatest Good. This movie is a very important movie in our time currently, as we come together as a people to unify in this great city, Chicago. This particular project, as our youth work on it, we will bring tremendous amounts of jobs to our community, and we will also unite our youth to working on a project together in positivity, love, and peace to commemorate a man's life who once fought not only for our youth, but for everyone across the city of Chicago. And dare I say, even in underserved communities around the world. With this project, The Greatest Good, we will use the proceeds from the film to return back to the underserved communities, not only here in Chicago, but to unite all people of color around the world and make the greatest movie in the history of our world and our nation right here in Chicago. And Harold's voice and his reform will truly be, will truly come into effect. And the years that he did not serve for us, we will truly feel as though he did. The Greatest Good will truly live up to its name. And as long as our people come together and we utilize our skills and abilities to work together, we will be able to create history right here once again by unifying our community and truly making change. So The Greatest Good is the name of the movie, and Harold Washington, igniting Harold Washington's reform is the plan, and we hope to bring everybody together around it to truly do the greatest good.
Great, very good. And I think, you know, because of Harold's, let me just say, I traveled to Africa, the Caribbean, a lot of foreign countries. Every place I went, when they found out where you're from Chicago, how's Harold? So they couldn't even say Harold. How's Harold? I want to thank you people for joining us with the political show. Plus, we're talking about the greatest mayor that Chicago has ever seen. Although he didn't last for a long time, but the time he lasted was a great impact on the city of Chicago and on the citizens of the city of Chicago. And between you and I think what is happening, we don't want to make another sacrificial ghost, a sacrificial lamb, I should say. You know, people were saying during the time that hell was running, man, if he wins this thing, them people are going to kill him.
Yeah.
And when he won the election, see, y'all put that man up as a sacrifice. They're going to kill him.
Yeah.
I told you they're going to kill him. They can't conceive of the fact that he ate himself to death. Eating hamburgers and I used to talk to him about it. He said, man, there ain't nothing wrong with eating food. I said, that's not food, Harold. That's not food.
Yeah.
But he said it's food. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. He said, I said, okay, you're right. You're the senior, so what can I say?
Yeah. Well, he part of the poisons that he put in his body
yes.
are the same poisons that we're putting in our body.
Yes.
And if we look at Harold's life as any testament to what we are living like today, if he truly did eat himself to death on those foods, then we know what's coming to all the youth and all the people in our community who are eating those same foods, and what their future looks like. To die young without fulfilling their life's purpose and mission. And that's not something that we want here in our community.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted Harold to finish his life mission. And if that was his poison, we must remove it from the hands of our young people so that they can finish their life mission.
But we can't remove it.
We can.
How can we remove it?
Well, like we do anything. We do good at basketball because we compete on the court. We are good hip-hop artists and singers because we get up there and we sing like we've never sung before. We irrigated the soil of earth. We plotted the stars in the heavens. We created mathematics for the world to use. We bought literature and literacy.
We gave that credit to God.
Well, we're not far from God. The black community is not far from God at all.
No. You say far from. I don't understand that.
We're not far from God. We're very close to God.
I don't understand that.
Well, if you understand God, then you understand yourself.
There you go.
Yeah. So you're not far from God. You're close to God. As a people, we are close to God.
I don't understand that.
If I understand God, if I understand myself, then I understand God's creation of me.
See.
I'm not far from God. I'm very close to God.
Yeah, well, like I said.
I mean, we have problems in our community, but as the Bible says, the Lord shall be with the meek and the lowly. And right now, the only people in this country who are as meek and as lowly people as I know is the people in my community. And we must change that. So in order to be closer to God, becoming God, we make that fusion.
You said it.
Yeah.
You don't have to become, you already are.
Oh, yes. Yes, we already are. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You know, when you say close, that's why I say I don't understand that.
Well, when I say we're not far, I mean we're not far from our Creator.
See, this society got you thinking that God is nowhere near you. God is up in heaven, and you got to get down on your knees and pray to it.
Oh no!
When the God is inside of you,
that's right,
attempting to lead you and guide you in the right direction at all times.
That's right.
But because you think God is in heaven, you don't pay any attention to it.
No,
give
sir.
Give you an example. You're driving down the street, or you're walking. Say you're driving, and you have a strong urge to turn left, and you say, okay, you had that urge to turn left, but then your good sense kicks in.
Yes, sir.
That education kicks in. And say, hey man, do the math. You only got 2 blocks to go straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You're going 2 or 3 miles out of the way, going this way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, your good sense made you go back this way. But before you get 2 blocks, you have an accident.
Yeah.
What do you say? If I followed my first mind.
Yeah.
God is attempting to lead you. Ain't got nothing to do with no first mind.
That's right.
God is attempting to lead you around trepidation.
That's right.
But you didn't follow. You followed the good sense and had an accident. So, you know, I learned this as I guess about 7 years old.
Yeah.
In Memphis, Tennessee, that's where I was born. Walking down the street with a bunch of my young friends. We didn't have any money. Told me, man, if we had some money, we can go to a movie. It was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We go to a movie down in Hollywood. Man, movies were 7 cents to get in, but we didn't have any money.
One of those days.
Yeah. So as we walked in this direction, I said, where you going, man? I don't know. Oh, right here, $20 bill laying on the ground. See, I didn't know where I was going that way. I didn't even know any place to go that way. Just in my mind led me to go that way, and I always followed it at that time.
Yeah.
Always followed my mind, my brain.
Yeah.
And when we got the $20, we went to the movie. We got popcorn and ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, $20. Shit, we still had $15 left. We got through buying up stuff.
Wow.
But you know, I look at it. I said, wow. Then I remember back when I was 6 years old. No, when I was 2 years old. My grandmother used to take me and lay me on the back bench at the church.
Yeah.
And she would sit there every night. And I lay on the back bench. Man, it was so boring. I said, this is crazy. I finally got enough nerve to ask her, Mama, why do you keep taking me to this place to hear that man lie? She said, what man lying? I said, that preacher. She said, you know, son, at least twice a month, we got to go downtown Memphis and get your uncle out of jail. We got to take a streetcar downtown to get your uncle out of jail. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, if it wasn't for that man telling what you call lies, we'd have to go down there every night to get him out of jail. She said, so those so-called lies does do some good to some people who don't understand, like you do. And me hearing that from my great-grandmother, you know, wow. You know, she's giving me that much credit.
Yes, sir.
So then she said, well, I won't make you go to church. She got a neighbor to watch me when she was at church at night. And so finally, at 3, he allowed me to go out and play. So let's get up there so we can continue this, because we're out of time. So good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much. God
I'm
bless
gonna have
you.
you back before you finish that movie.
Oh yeah, well.
Find my part, and I'm ready for it.
We got you. We got a part for you, yes, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you understood politics that we're in. There's a candidate who's running for mayor. She told you her story. Very compelling. Think about it. We'll see you this time again tomorrow.
Thank you.